My mom said, "Don't wear that. You'll ruin the photos." So I wore it, and I smiled wide while my cousin's fiance whispered, "I think you were invited by mistake." She cried in the bathroom for 20 minutes. I didn't check in. It started with a dress, a stupid, soft pink, tea-length dress that made me feel like myself for the first time in months. I was standing in front of the mirror in my childhood bedroom, the one with the peeling decals and the dent in the door where my brother threw a controller during a tantrum. When my mom, Diane, 56 female, walked in without knocking. "Don't wear that," she said, like it was a reflex. "You'll ruin the photos." It wasn't a suggestion. It wasn't concern. It was a judgment baked into years of her pinched smiles and polite sighs. And for once, I didn't apologize. I didn't scramble to change. I just turned, slowly, met her eyes and said, "Then I'll be the one you crop out." That dress? I bought it 3 weeks ago on clearance, after walking out of my therapist's office and needing something, anything, that felt like a decision for me. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't even that bold, but it hugged my waist in a way that made me feel present in my body again. And I loved it, which, in my family, is a sin if it doesn't match the palette. The occasion, my cousin Marissa's engagement party. Marissa, 27 female, the golden child of the golden family. She's the type who says, "Love you," at the end of every sentence but will step over your collapsed body to get a better selfie angle. We were close as kids, Barbie dolls and flashlight secrets close, but somewhere around sophomore year, she started editing me out of her Instagram stories unless I looked aesthetic enough. My mom always said Marissa was ambitious. What she meant was, Marissa knew how to play the game. So I wore the dress. I walked into that rented hall, all soft satin and stubborn pride, and smiled like hell when the cameras flashed. My mom was already talking to Aunt Cheryl about centerpieces and retirement plans, her eyes scanning the room like a security guard, waiting to see if I'd embarrass her. She barely acknowledged me, but Marissa's fiance did. Landon, 31 male, met me near the dessert table, all veneers and slicked hair. He leaned in close with the kind of smirk that says, "I think I can say this to you because you're the cousin who doesn't matter." And then he whispered it, "I think you were invited by mistake." I blinked. He smiled, like he'd given me a gift, like it was a cute little jab we could laugh about. And I just smiled wider, said nothing, took a bite of the cannoli I hadn't wanted, and let the cream coat my tongue while my chest burned with a different kind of sugar. 15 minutes later, Marissa was crying in the bathroom. Not because of me, at least not directly. Someone had told her Landon was being flirty with a few guests. Then someone else told her he said her laugh was aggressively nasal. The whisper net worked fast. By the time she stormed out of the powder room, eyes puffy and clutching her heels like a weapon, the room was buzzing. I didn't check on her, not because I hated her, not even because of what Landon said, but because for the first time in years, I felt like I didn't owe her my softness or my silence. And I wasn't done yet. I didn't plan to stay long. I told myself I'd make an appearance, hug the aunties, eat a plate of carbs, and bounce before the inevitable family chaos. But after that moment, after Landon's little whisper and Marissa's bathroom meltdown, I realized something dangerous. I was invisible. And when you're invisible, you can do whatever the hell you want. Nobody noticed when I sat down at the table reserved for the other cousins. The ones who live out of state or got tattoos or didn't go to college. We were the misfits, the punchlines in family gossip. But we all looked incredible that night. Camilla, 25 female, had on this blood-red jumpsuit that made her look like she should have been on a runway instead of sitting next to a cold pasta salad. Ty, 30 male, brought his boyfriend, who was already 2 glasses into telling Aunt Cheryl to stop calling things ghetto. We were having fun. Real, unfiltered, petty joy. And for the first time in years, I wasn't watching the clock, waiting to leave. I was watching the drama build like a soap opera. Landon started drinking. Not just sipping champagne, drinking. Scotch, wine, 2 cocktails someone left unattended. His laugh got louder, his hands looser. At one point, he tried to spin Marissa's mom during a slow song and nearly tripped on her kitten heels. Everyone thought it was funny until he spilled someone's mimosa on the gift table and tried to blame the unstable table legs. Marissa was trying to keep it together. Her smile had that frozen Barbie look. But when Landon went outside for a smoke, he doesn't smoke, by the way, she followed him out, and through the giant glass windows, we all watched them fight like they forgot windows existed. Then came the photos. Every engagement party has the photo wall, the dumb flower arch with the couple's initials and scripted wood cutouts. It was Marissa's pride and joy. She made her dad drill it into the floor for structural integrity. She even told people not to post pics until she approved them first. So guess where I went? I walked right up to that arch, handed my phone to Camila, and posed like it was my damn party. Full smile, dress flowing, hair pinned just messy enough to look effortless. And I owned it. The lighting was perfect. The photos? Even better. That's when Landon came back in, and, of course, he walked right over. I still don't know if he was trying to be charming or just bored, but he stood beside me, glanced at my phone, and said, "You really don't fit in here, do you?" This time I didn't smile. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Neither do you." I swear for a second something flickered in his expression. Not anger, not guilt, just recognition, like two wolves sniffing each other out in a forest of sheep. Then I heard Marissa's heels behind me. She saw us, saw me, with him at the photo wall, her perfect backdrop, her face crumpled like a paper bag. She didn't say anything, just turned and walked, fast back to the bathroom. Camilla nudged me. "You good?" I said, "I'm great." And I was, because something had shifted. This wasn't just about a dress anymore. It was about years of biting my tongue, years of being edited out, and I wasn't going to let that happen again. Not tonight. The thing about being the family afterthought is they never expect you to spark. They're used to you staying in your corner, quietly dodging passive-aggressive jabs and bringing safe side dishes to potlucks. They don't prepare for you to stand in the middle of the room, glowing. That night, I didn't just glow. I ignited. After the second bathroom cry, Marissa's friends tried to do damage control. One of them, this girl named Talia, with lip gloss that looked weaponized, cornered me near the appetizer spread. "You know," she said, pretending to fix her bracelet, "Marissa's been really stressed. Maybe take it easy tonight?" I tilted my head. "Take it easy. She's under a lot of pressure. Landon's family is watching everything. It's kind of a big deal." I nearly laughed. "And you think my dress is the crisis?" Talia blinked like I'd just slapped her with a cucumber sandwich. She didn't answer, just muttered something about keeping things elegant, and flounced off in her champagne-colored heels. I walked back toward the dance floor and saw it, finally, my mom watching me. Not just glancing, watching. Her lips were tight, her eyes narrowed. She looked me up and down like she was recalculating a math problem that wouldn't solve. Good. She got up and intercepted me by the water station. "I asked you not to wear that," she said, quiet, cold. "And I wore it anyway," I said, "and nothing caught on fire." Imagine that. Her jaw clenched. "You're making this about you." I wanted to scream. "I didn't make this about me. You did, when you told me I didn't belong in your pictures." But I didn't scream. I just looked at her, felt every time she made me feel like an accessory at someone else's celebration, and said, "I'm not the one making a scene." Then I walked away, and maybe that's what broke her. Because 10 minutes later, I was talking to Ty and his boyfriend when I heard a crash, sharp, glass on tile, and turned to see my mom standing over the dessert table. One of the wine flutes shattered at her feet. She was breathing heavy, shaking. People rushed to help, but she waved them off. "It's fine," she snapped. "Just too many people. I need air." She stormed out. My Aunt Cheryl followed, whispering, "She's just overwhelmed. This family doesn't need another crisis." I watched the shards of glass get swept away, and I realized something. I wasn't the problem. I wasn't the one breaking things. They were just mad I didn't shrink, and that was only going to get worse. By the time dessert was cleared and Marissa finally emerged from the bathroom, eyes red, eyeliner a little smeared but still trying to play it off like allergies, the entire vibe of the party had shifted. People were whispering. Side eyes flew like confetti. The music was still going, but nobody was dancing. It was like the party knew something ugly was bleeding through the floral wallpaper and pastel decor, but no one wanted to name it out loud. Marissa walked straight up to Landon and whispered something in his ear. He shrugged, like her emotions were a weak signal he couldn't quite tune into. That's when I realized I wasn't the only one who didn't belong. He didn't either. But unlike me, he didn't care. He wasn't fighting to be seen. He was just floating through the chaos, smug and detached. And I was done watching. I walked outside, past the arch and the gift table, down to the edge of the patio where the smokers gathered. Landon was there, laughing with some guy from his office, holding a drink like it owed him rent. I didn't hesitate. "Hey," I said, just loud enough. He turned, that same cocky smile. "Come to join the cool kids?" I stepped closer, lowered my voice. "You ever tell Marissa what you said to me earlier?" His smile faltered just slightly. "What do you mean?" "I mean," I said, steady, "when you told me I was invited by mistake. Did you say that to her face? Or do you save that kind of thing for the less important cousins?" His friend awkwardly looked away. Landon chuckled, but there was a twitch in his jaw. "It was a joke. Yeah. She's crying in a bathroom and you're out here joking." I let it hang there. "Class act." He stepped forward, voice low and edged with warning. "Maybe you should worry about your own life instead of crashing someone else's." I laughed. "Sweetheart, I was invited, but don't worry, I won't be in any of your pictures." Then I walked off. Not because I was scared, because I knew he'd take the bait. Inside, the party was teetering. Aunt Cheryl was trying to gather people for a toast, but no one was listening. My mom was back, pretending she hadn't tried to shatter a wine glass with sheer willpower. And Marissa? She was scrolling on her phone, and then she froze. Her thumb stopped mid-scroll. I didn't know what she was seeing yet, but I could guess. It was the photo Camilla posted earlier, the one of me standing at the floral arch, glowing. Captioned, "Sometimes the black sheep is just the only one not pretending." The comments were rolling in. Not from family, from friends, strangers, people from college probably, and every one of them was on my side. I watched Marissa read them, watched her jaw twitch. Her hand trembled. Then she turned her phone toward Landon as he walked in, waving a beer like he owned the place. "What is this?" she hissed. He blinked. "What? This photo. These comments. People are saying I let you humiliate my cousin, that I cried in the bathroom while you— What the hell did you do?" He raised his hands, stumbling over some excuse, but it was too late. The guests were watching now. One by one they were tuning in. This was the show. And I wasn't backing out of the spotlight. Update 1. Okay. Wow. I did not expect the last post to blow up the way it did. I thought maybe a few people would relate to the whole family guilt and emotional sabotage disguised as decorum thing. But the messages, the comments, y'all went feral, and I mean that in the best possible way. First off, to the person who said, "Wear the pink dress to her funeral next," I choked on my coffee. Dark, terrible, iconic. I love you. Second, to everyone asking if Marissa and Landon are still together. Oh, buddy, buckle the hell up. But before that, I need to say something real. A lot of you messaged me stories about your own toxic families, your golden child cousins, your silently endured parties where you smiled through gritted teeth because it was easier than causing a scene. And damn, I felt that. I read every single one. Cried more than once. It's wild how much of us have the same story in different fonts. So here's what happened after the pink dress, the photo, and the bathroom crying. After Marissa saw the post, she imploded. Not like quietly, not with dignity. She went full stage 4, meltdown in front of 70 guests and a chocolate fountain. Screaming, crying, demanding to know who posted the photo, asking who was trying to ruin her moment. Like her engagement party was the goddamn Oscars and I was crashing her acceptance speech. Landon tried to calm her down, but she shoved his hand away. Hard. Said something like, "You're the reason people are even looking at her. You made her a victim." Which, wow, that was the moment. You ever watch someone accidentally say the truth out loud? It hits like a firework in a dark room. I didn't say anything. Just stood there, drink in hand, pink dress glowing under string lights, and let them burn. Later that night, Marissa tried to text me. A single line. "Happy now?" I didn't reply. Because honestly, I wasn't happy. I was free, and that felt better. Anyway, you want the real tea? Landon left the party early, with one of Marissa's co-workers. Her name's Bree. They took an Uber together. Someone posted a blurry Insta story of them sitting way too close at a bar 30 minutes later. Tagged location and everything. Marissa saw it the next morning. And guess who she called? Not her best friend. Not her mom. Me. I let it ring. And then I blocked her number. So, yeah, that's where things stood. But you're not ready for what happened next. Because 2 weeks later, I got a wedding invitation in the mail. And it wasn't hers. It was white, thick, embossed with silver foil. The kind of envelope that screams we spent too much. For a second, I thought maybe it was some delayed thank you card or a weird apology gesture. But no. Front and center. Landon and Bree. Yep, that Bree. The coworker Marissa caught him slinking off with the night of the party. Apparently, they went from flirty rebound to shotgun engagement in under 3 weeks. I half expected the card to smell like desperation and citrus body spray. But here's the twist. They invited me, not the whole family. Me. No +1. No mention of bring the cousin crew. Just my full name and address, like I was being summoned to a performance. And here's where it got weird. The venue? Same one as Marissa's party. Same floral arch. Same photographer. Confirmed via a tagged vendor post. It was like they were trying to overwrite her night. Scrub her off the memory card and slap a new couple over the bones of the last disaster. I called Camilla the second I saw it. "You're not seriously going," she said. "Oh," I said. "I'm not just going." "What does that mean?" "It means I've got a plan." Because here's the thing. I wasn't mad about the invite. I was curious. Why would Landon and Bree want me there? Why would they risk poking the bear they just finished trashing? Unless they weren't trying to poke me. They were trying to prove something. To Marissa. To themselves. To the entire Whisper network of friends and family still dissecting that cursed engagement party. I was the plot twist. The wild card. The proof they'd moved on. That everything was fine. Normal. Civil. So I said, fine. Let's be civil. But if I was showing up, it wouldn't be quiet. It wouldn't be cropped out. And it definitely wouldn't be wearing soft pink. I found a dress. Not subtle. Not safe. Floor length. Deep emerald green with a slit up the thigh that made my mother's voice echo in my head like a warning siren. It hugged everything I'd been told to hide and glittered like vengeance under low lights. I wore it with gold heels and my hair down like a wave of defiance. And when I walked in, heads turned. Landon saw me first. His smile froze. Bree followed his gaze and blinked like her contact lenses had betrayed her. And Marissa wasn't there. Not yet, but she would be. Because chaos has a sense of timing. Marissa showed up 37 minutes into the ceremony. She wasn't invited, which made the slow motion of her entrance even more surreal. She came alone. No entourage, no cousin buffer squad, just her, in this tight black cocktail dress that looked like mourning wrapped in spite. Her hair was pinned up like she'd come straight from a magazine shoot, but her eyes were nuclear. I was mid-sip of champagne when I saw her walk in through the garden arch, like a ghost nobody summoned. Gasps. Actual gasps. Some people turned their backs like they could pretend it wasn't happening. Bree saw her and visibly flinched. Landon did what Landon always does. Laughed like it was some awkward sitcom moment and muttered, "Guess the drama followed us." That's when Marissa saw me, and she froze. Her eyes dropped from my face to the green silk, hugging my hips to the gold shoes and then back up, and I could see the math happening in her head. She thought I'd come to be petty. She thought I'd show up small, bitter, humiliated. Instead, I looked like the reason they dimmed the lights. She came up to me, not storming, not even fake smiling, just tight-lipped and breathing sharp through her nose like she was trying to win a staring contest with her own restraint. "You really came," she said. "I was invited," I said. "Weird, right?" Her eyes flicked toward Landon and Bree. "They're doing this to get back at me," I smiled. "Maybe. Or maybe it's just convenient how easily they replaced you." She blinked. Hard. "You don't get it." "No," I said, leaning in slightly. "You don't get it. This whole time you've treated people like set pieces in your little curated life. And now you're mad that someone used your stage." She looked like she wanted to scream. Instead, she reached into her clutch, pulled out her phone, and hissed, "Don't say I didn't warn you," and walked straight out. I thought that was the end. But 20 minutes later, while they were cutting the cake, everyone's phone started buzzing, simultaneously. That's when I knew Marissa wasn't bluffing. She'd posted something, and whatever it was, it hit like a grenade. Update 2. I knew it was bad before I even opened my phone. You could feel the shift, like someone cracked open a sewer line at a perfume factory. Guests started whispering. Bree's hand clenched around the cake knife so tight I thought she'd slice a finger off. Landon? He looked like someone had just asked him to do math on live TV. I checked my phone. Marissa had posted a 6-photo carousel with a caption that started with, "Since everyone's playing pretend," and oh boy, she emptied the clip. Photo 1. A screenshot of a text from Landon, dated 2 days after the engagement party, telling her she was still the hottest woman in any room, and how he missed how soft things used to feel. Photo 2. A blurry mirror selfie from her bathroom. She was in a robe. Landon's coat was draped over the sink. Photo 3. A screen recording scrolling through texts where he called Bree an easy win and perfect for a clean break. Photos 4 to 6. Pictures of the engagement party aftermath. Landon leaving in Bree's Uber. Marissa crying in the bathroom. Yes, someone had taken a photo. And a direct shot of me in the pink dress, laughing under the floral arch. The caption ended with, "If you're going to copy-paste a wedding, at least change the font. Have a nice life. XOXO, your original bride." Boom. Silence fell over the venue like a dropped chandelier. Bree threw the cake knife onto the table, screamed, "Are you kidding me?" and stormed off toward the kitchen. Landon followed, trying to grab her arm, but she dodged him so hard he nearly knocked over a centerpiece. Guests started leaving, like rats off a sinking Pinterest yacht. One uncle took 2 champagne bottles with him. I stayed, because I didn't come for closure. I came for the collapse. And as I walked past the cake, barely touched, I heard one of Marissa's old college friends whisper to another, "Honestly, the cousin won." I didn't turn around. I didn't gloat, but I smiled. A real one. Because that night, I wasn't just a girl in a dress. I was the end of their performance. And the beginning of mine. The wedding collapsed in under an hour. Guests scattered like someone had yelled, "Fire," instead of "frosting." The DJ, God bless him, tried to salvage it by playing "Don't Stop Believin'," like that would hold the walls together. But no one was dancing. No one was toasting. The newly engaged couple was gone, the cake uneaten, and the bride's bouquet sat abandoned on a chair like a warning sign. I stayed longer than I meant to. Not to be dramatic, just still, like I needed to feel it all. The weight of every moment I'd swallowed in silence for years now flipped back onto them, one shard at a time. When I finally stepped outside, the air was heavy, like post-storm humidity, but colder. Bree was sitting on the curb barefoot, her heels tossed beside her, mascara running like prison escapees. She looked up when she saw me, and I swear for 1 second she almost smiled. Not because we were friends, but because we both knew she'd been played, and I hadn't been the one to do it. "He told me you were jealous of me," she said. I nodded. "Sounds like him?" He said you were obsessed. I looked down at her. Not cruel, just honest. And you believed him? She wiped her nose with a trembling hand and shook her head finally. I think I just wanted to believe someone wanted me that badly. I sat down next to her. Not close? Just there. After a while, she asked, do you think they'll get back together? I didn't answer right away. Then I said, only if they want to burn the rest of the world down together. She didn't reply, just stared at the gravel like it held secrets she couldn't decode. Eventually, I stood, dusted off my dress and said, you don't have to play their game? She looked up. What if I don't know who I am without it? And for once, I had an answer. You figure it out. One ruined cake at a time. I walked away. I didn't look back. Because here's the truth. That night wasn't revenge. That night was reclamation. And I wasn't done yet. A week later, my mom showed up at my apartment. Unannounced, of course. That's her style. Weaponized surprise dressed up as concern. I didn't answer the door right away. I watched her through the peephole for a moment. Purse clutched like a judge's gavel, face tight like she'd been rehearsing her speech in the car. When I finally opened the door, she didn't even say hello. She stepped inside like she still had keys and said, do you feel good about what you did? I let the silence hang. She set her purse on my counter like she owned it. You humiliated Marissa. You embarrassed the family. You made a scene. I blinked. Slow. No, they made a scene. I just didn't move out of the frame. Her eyes narrowed. You've always had a flair for drama. And you've always had a flair for pretending I don't exist unless I'm convenient. She flinched. Not visibly, but something in her expression cracked. This isn't who we raised you to be. And there it was. The line. The tired script. The performance critique of a daughter who stopped apologizing. You didn't raise me, I said. You styled me. That one hit. She took a step back. Is that what this is about? A dress? It was never about the dress, I said, my voice quiet. It was about you telling me I ruin things by being myself. We stood there. Years of silence, shame, and smallness folding in around us. Then she said something I wasn't expecting. She's not speaking to anyone. I didn't respond. She blocked me. Cheryl. Even your Aunt Lillian. I looked her dead in the eye. Good. Her face crumpled like wet paper. You don't mean that. I did. Maybe not forever. But in that moment, I absolutely did. She left without another word, and I finally felt the air shift. I poured a glass of wine, sat on my balcony, let the cold bite my shoulders and the quiet sit heavy on my chest. And for the first time in years, I wasn't waiting for a call, or an apology, or an explanation that would make the gaslighting feel less sharp. I was just me. No party, no photos, no edits, and it was enough.